Four hosts, they bout to wreck shit like Marco. Addicted to the Giants like it's Netflix and Narcos. The CEO making big moves as per usual. Captain Negative calling everybody delusional. This podcast is number one. Like when you take a piss, so share the link and pass it. Like bitch, you're making splits and Mr. Make-A-Wish, the sophisticated click. I spit offensive lines, now Tim can take a sip of some beer because he likes the taste of it, right? Don't forget the New York Giants beat the Patriots twice. The sickest dudes, eating chips and salsa like it's Victor Cruz. Win or lose, always gonna root for Big Blue. It's true, this a classic show. Tyree, catch it, bro. Play a drinking game while you listen and call it Claxico. Take a couple shots. If it's funny, you can rewind. To bleed blue means it's in their jeans like Levi's. Eli, man in the shit, just like a sailor. Captain, we attacking bum rush like Lawrence Taylor. Podcast on point, the sharp as arrows. BBG, stay gritty like Mark Bavaro.
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, everyone? My name is Marco. I am your host of the Bleedbigblue podcast. It is Wednesday. Let me know if you can hear me in the chats. Let me throw a little hello. I'm here. I'm reloading the page. That's what I'm getting. All right, so let's see what's going on with that. You can hear me, right? All right, let me open up the lines. Let me open up the phone lines. We should have a good show today. Is this Justin or is this James?
It's J Money.
J Money, what's going on? How is your...
Glad to be here.
Ooh, what up, Marco Honey? Oh, what up, Marco Homie? I can hear you. You can hear me correctly? Everything's coming good? Mm-hmm. Justin, you there? James,
I am here.
you were there. Okay.
Hey, is it up?
And now you're on. Let me load up the lines.
Twitter looks like it's not working. Is Twitter, are we up? Are we having some technical difficulties or anything?
No, I think we are up and running.
Oh, there. Okay. All right. There you go.
Facebook up.
Let's
We're street legal, Jen.
that everything is working correctly. Hold on. Yeah, I think we are. I'm just waiting for people on Twitter to confirm that they can hear me.
We're waiting for a tweet.
A little tweet, a little...
Play the drop again. Where's Tim?
The tweeter.
Is this... Ah, I hear you fellas. I think we are up and running.
There we go.
I have full lines. I can't figure out which number is Tim.
We have callers already?
Yeah, we're booked.
Wow.
Yeah, put the group chat. Put your phone number in the group chat, Tim.
Tim? Ah, got him.
God.
Hey, Timmy. Oh, full show, gentlemen. Full show.
Yeah, I've been there the whole damn time.
Well,
I don't believe it.
see, the call system doesn't have like a tag where it knows the number automatically. So I have to like search for it. And when the lines are busy, this is what happens.
How many years have we got to do this before you know my number? I don't want to be a dick, but...
Mm-hmm. No, not being a dick. All right, we are here. So where do you want to start, gentlemen?
We've got...
Right off the bat, we want to go with Rosen?
Do we want to lead with Rosen? I think that's what everybody wants to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody pretty much blew up on Twitter about.
Yeah.
Well,
Right
I mean,
after Marco was dropping dimes and,
Yeah.
Twitter blew up.
Go ahead, James. What were you going to say?
I feel like the show hasn't even started. I feel like we're like all over the place. Can we get a proper like play the drop? Like there's people listening. Like what's going on? I feel like all chaotic.
Ready? Here we go.
Didn't we play the drop?
Four hosts, they bout to wreck shit like Marco. Addicted to the Giants like it's Netflix and Narcos. The CEO making big moves as per usual. Captain Negative calling everybody delusional. This podcast is number one. Like when you take a piss, so share the link and pass it. Like Victor making splits and Mr. Make-A-Wish. The sophisticated click. I spit offensive lines, now Tim can take a sip of some beer. Because he likes the taste of it, right? Don't forget the New York Giants beat the Patriots twice. The sickest dudes, eating chips and salsa like it's Victor Cruz. Win or lose, always gonna root for Big Blue. It's true, this a classic show. Tyree, catch it, bro. Play a drinking game while you listen and call it Plaxico. Take a couple shots. If it's funny, you can rewind to Bleed Blue. Means it's in their jeans like Levi's. Eli, man in the shit, just like a sailor. Captain, we attacking bum rush like Lawrence Taylor. Podcast on point, the sharpest arrows. BBG, stay gritty like Mark Bavaro.
I feel like it started properly.
Now you feel like it started. I have the lines full. I have Captain Negative on. I have J Money. I have Tim, which we have to nickname. And we should have a good show. You are listening right now through Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope. They're all live. They're all working properly. I see the chats coming in. A bunch of people are already on. Notifications, if you sub to the show, we'll get it. And should be all good today. Everyone seems to want to know what I know about Josh Rosen. And where should I start?
We'll start with what you know.
We broke the story last night.
Yes, we did. And if you look at the timelines of when, the established media put out their articles,
You beat Bacchiano.
I'm pretty well before them. So
Yeah, you beat Bacchiano. Bacchiano was the first one, and you beat Bacchiano. You really did. You really did. Nice move. I like it.
So the thing is, we're talking about different sources as well. He's going on He's going on something else. I'm almost 90% sure that it's not related to what I know. So from what I know,
So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. What do you know, Marco?
so I know a lot of things. So
Or what do you know pertaining to a Rosen by any other name?
yeah. So what I know is that I'll use an example, but I won't give out the obvious company, right? Because what I know is on Josh.
Please don't. Yes. Good idea. Go ahead.
It's not on.
Hypothetical. Let's say
Right.
hypothetically, Josh Rosen thought that he may have a chance to get traded to the Giants. Go ahead.
Say hypothetically, Josh Rosen had to go to a meeting for Gatorade. And in this meeting for Gatorade, his whole team was pitching what possibly is coming up from the season. And his team was saying that there is a strong likelihood that he's going to be in New York, and they would like to set up some Gatorade ventures in New York to get some establishments going in New York.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
It's
I gotta say, I like it.
obviously it's not Gatorade,
Obviously.
but it is.
But still, I get the point. His people are putting out feelers to say, hey, if we end up in New York, here are the ideas. We got a strong feeling that he may end up in New York, and these are the ideas we're having. We're forecasting that. It's a smart business move. I mean, there was word out last year how bad he wanted to be the quarterback. He wanted to be in a big city. He wanted to be the Giants quarterback. I mean, those aren't secrets. I mean, that's known. Here's the question I have, and this is really, it's the $1 million question with this whole Rosen to the Giants thing. Is it really a bidding war, or are they going to do Rosen a solid, right? So, like, if the word today is true that the Chargers offered that second pick, because at first we heard it was the Giants, and then I think it was recently reported that it was like pick 90 or something like that. If it was the Chargers who offered that second pick, that's a blessing for the Giants. It sets the price. The Giants' reaction would be, of course, to offer 37. What ensues from that point is the Chargers then have a chance to offer 28. New England can wait it out, get in late in the game, and maybe try to offer 32. The question is,
New England's not giving up 32.
You're crazy if you don't think so. Like if they know they can get Josh Rosen, 32 means nothing to them. Like and it's been reported all over the place. Like watch the Patriots. Like listen to Willie McGinnis today. Many people have said the Patriots are in on this thing. Patriots, Chargers, Giants. Now the news that came out later was it seems like the Chargers were the most serious, and they've already placed an offer on the table. So they set the market. Giants counter with 37.
But
the next question is, does anybody want to beat 37? Does 32 beat out 37?
That.
Go ahead,
So,
Justin.
I'm willing to believe all of that. Okay? I'll check your boxes. I'll drink your Kool-Aid.
It's not Kool-Aid. It's been reported. I'm not making it up. It's not hypothetical. That's what's going on.
But so what I'm saying is, who leaks that information? Who leaks that?
Probably the Cardinals.
The best offer we have is 90, and why would they do that?
To try to beat 90.
They're not doing it for the Chargers.
They're doing it to get the best offer.
They're doing it so that they can get the best offer, and the pick that they want is 37.
I disagree. I think the pick that they want is the highest pick they can get. Like, you can't tell me if this thing gets to a first-round price, all bets are off. Like, if it gets to a point where it becomes a first-rounder, I think other teams get involved. Because you can't tell me if the Giants are willing to give up 17 that the Redskins might not be willing to give up 4 picks ahead of that for a franchise quarterback.
Well, what I'm saying to you is that I don't think that if you're any of these other teams in the NFL, right, a first-round pick is a premium selection, right? Premium selection. If I'm on the inside of the league and I know that Arizona is going to take Murray, or I strongly suspect it, why would I give up my premium selection in this draft to get Rosen when they have to trade him if they get rid of Murray or if they draft Murray?
But there's no point. They may have to trade him, but it becomes who they trading him to. The highest bidder is going to get him. If the Giants offer 30, if this thing gets down to 37, you don't think the Patriots and the Chargers, with between 5 picks and 9 picks away, get involved?
Why would the Patriots offer 32 when
to get a franchise quarterback for after Tom Brady? Why would the Chargers offer 20? Why would the Chargers offer 90? Why would the Giants offer 37? Why would the Redskins offer 13, 15 to get a franchise quarterback?
So, James,
what I'm saying to you is that you don't have to. You can give them a better offer than 37 without giving up a first-round pick.
Until someone gives up the first-round pick. What we have to hope is that no one's willing to give up. The concern is that you got guys like Belichick out there that will give up the 32nd pick. And then once that happens, the Giants only have pick 17. And you can't tell me that if it gets to pick 17, that it doesn't open the door potentially for now the Redskins or Miami to get involved. Here, what I'm saying is if it ends up being a bidding war, I think the Giants may have to give up 17 and maybe another pick if other teams get involved, depending on what the price becomes. Here's the question. Do they feel like they did Josh Rosen a disservice last year, have put him in a difficult situation and are going to do something like Belichick did and not really worry about the price, but put him where he wants to be and like a good fit for him. That's what you have to really look at right now, guys. Like, is it going to be like a Garoppolo deal where they end up sending him somewhere where he wants to be?
Go ahead, Tim.
What happened? It's terrible DMing. Terrible.
Go ahead, Tim.
I want to use something that me and James talked about earlier. The longer Arizona waits, the lower the price is going to go down. Because the more
100%.
Because the more it becomes apparent that you're going to take Murray, the lower that price goes. Because you have to get rid of Rosen.
Not necessarily. Guys, you're wrong, Tim.
So here's
it depends on how many teams are involved.
Here's what.
You're still giving up a year.
If there's a market for him. It's not a problem if there's a market for him.
James, hold on. James, hold on. This is what This is what I know.
That's not wrong.
Arizona's already looking for a first-round pick. Arizona's already looking for a first-round pick.
James, hold on.
Arizona's already been looking for the first-round pick.
This is what
which they haven't got.
This is what
they're trying to wait. They're trying to wait out people to see if they can get a
Would
first-round
you
pick.
offer a first-round pick off the bat?
James.
Like there's two teams involved here, fellas.
Like you said, the longer they wait and the more apparent it gets, guess what? You got to get
Not
rid of
if there's
Rosen.
other teams coming into the picture.
Hold on. I threw him on.
First-round quarterback now.
I threw him on mute.
Let's say whatever. Let's say I take Haskins. I still got an extra year with Haskins on a rookie contract, which I don't have with Rosen.
Correct.
So you know what? That lessens the first-round pick. Not to mention Rosen got taken at 10 last year. You're not going to get like the 12th pick overall for a guy that you're getting rid of a year later.
So here's
it just makes no sense.
Besides, after I got like the news, I started doing a little digging and calling a bunch of other contacts. So far, the Patriots haven't come off of a second-round pick, and they feel that all the leverage is not with the Cardinals. That all the leverage is indeed with other teams looking, because they have the options of their first round picks to grab a quarterback. So they're not in the best position. And they've made it a little too obvious that they're going after Kyler Murray, which is, some people are saying is debatable, but it's not. It's most likely they're going to go for Murray. Unless they're going to pull the
100%.
Unless they're going to pull the card like they're going to keep both. I don't see it though.
The only thing that Cards could possibly be doing, if they're not taking Murray, is trying to build up someone, like, hopefully someone loves Murray that much that they're going to trade up.
Guys, how is it possible you're missing the point? Walk with me, okay? It's very fucking simple. If they offered pick 90, why would someone offer a first-round pick now? Someone asked me what I would offer. I would have offered a fourth. Because you're going to start low. They're going to start high. Of course they want a first. They drafted him 10. Right? Here's the problem. The timing of this thing, their window is now. There's plenty of time between now and the draft. Here's the thing. If other teams get involved, they're fine. Like, if there's more than one team involved, it becomes a bidding war. The Patriots aren't willing to give up a first-round pick because the price is not a first-round pick. If the Giants offer 37 and the Patriots have interest, that's 5 picks away. If they like the player that much, at that point, the first-round pick might be on the table. And so those are things that as Giant fans you need to consider. Because
the problem is
push the hand of the Chargers, who are 4 picks away.
No, the problem is that
if it comes down to it, we just got to give up 17. I'm fine with that.
If other teams get involved, and if it comes out that the Chargers and the Patriots got involved and they offered 28 and 32, and the Giants had to offer 17 to get the franchise quarterback, I think we'd all be fine with that. Especially after I've seen people on Twitter today going, you can't use 17 on a quarterback. You got to get it on a premium player. Fucking idiot. You're taking Haskins at 6. You just tweeted 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
If Rosen was in the draft and you dropped to 17, would you take him? So, of course, ideally, you want to get him for a second or third round pick. We're not the only team in the league. If other teams come and make other offers, we're going to have to beat them to get them. That's how it works. If they don't, 37 may work. If we don't offer anything, 90 may work.
I'm fine with like 37 in a future third. I'm fine with that.
Tim, I'm fine with 37, a fourth, and a fifth.
Yeah, whatever.
If you can get away with it without giving up the first round picks, it's ideal. It's a steal. The concern is a crazy bastard like Belichick, or is someone with an older quarterback like Rivers, like Roethlisberger, or another team with a huge opening like Miami, like Washington, if they like Rosen enough, where if the price becomes 17, does that mean, do they say, hey, listen, we weren't looking to get into a bidding war, but the Giants are 3 picks away and in our division, and we're at 15.
No, let's put it this way, and I see what you're saying. So if that comes down to it, and let's say they start doing this bidding war crap, Giants have the leverage by going, screw it, I'll just wait, get Haskins at 6.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I'm telling you, the thing we need to pray.
The Giants
need to pray, because I think that it's going to matter. I think that for some reason I have a feeling that if this goes down and he comes to the Giants, I think of a lot of it is going to be that he wanted to come to the Giants and they sent him to the Giants because that's where he wanted to go. Cross your fingers, because if that's the case, I think we do get out of this without giving up the first round pick. That's the prayer right now.
And that would be the best case scenario, is getting Rosen without giving up the 2 first-round picks. And honestly, you could trade back from 17 or even trade back from 6 and regain the pick you lost with Rosen.
100%. All bets are on the table at that point, and I agree with you completely. Yes. If you can acquire him with the second, trade him back as an option.
No, I would trade back 6. I would just take the best player available on both times.
Well, I think honestly, it depends on how the board goes. On 6. There's too much good talent as far as defensive wise at 6.
Well,
I would trade back to 17.
Think of it this way: just do the math, guys. If it ends up being that, and we do acquire Rosen with the second round pick, then go through the picks. Murray is obviously going first, right?
Yeah.
So the question then becomes: does someone move up to take Haskins, which would be the best case scenario for the Giants? Because then if I'm sitting there and I'm Gettleman and I have the quarterback of the future already, and I know I have pick 17 and 2 quarterbacks are going to go in front of me, that means I'm walking out of there with a top 4 defensive player, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If 2 quarterbacks go in front of you and you've acquired Rosen with your 37th pick, all of a sudden you're sitting there with the 4th pick in the draft if 2 of those picks are quarterbacks. So I think it depends how it goes. If you have 4 of those players ranked higher, and nobody like if you have 4 defensive players ranked there, Murray goes 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, those players are off the board, and you're on the clock. Yep. You're a fool if you don't answer the phone. If you have a gap in those tier of players, if someone trades up and gets Haskins, and one of those guys is available, you take the guy, and you worry about 17 when you get on the clock at 17.
We need a pass rusher. Go get the pass rusher at 6. There's going to be a pass rusher there, regardless.
If Gettlemania walks out of here with Rosen, Saquon, and 6 and 17,
he did a good job.
I mean,
don't say it, because until they move away from Manning, it's all for naught. So, there's a big monkey in the room, and his name is Eli Manning, and it's Gettleman's job to make that move. So if he's going to sit there on Good Morning Football, it doesn't matter any other move he makes. He has tied his wagon to Eli Manning. Okay?
Can I ask you guys?
Let's wait on the praising until we see the play on the field. Let's not go ape shit.
Let's get off the quarterbacks. Let me ask you guys, who would you want as your premier defender?
Brian Burns.
At 6.
At 6?
I would do whatever I can to get my hands on that kid. Yes.
I do
I
like
love
Brian
him.
Burns. I'm not gonna lie, James. I'm with you on Brian Burns. I like him, but not at 6.
I think he has the capability to put on around 10, 12 more pounds. I think he runs like a deer. If you've watched his film, oh my God, does he get to the quarterback? Does he get to the quarterback? And he's so good. He's so good. I've watched him a bunch of times, and when you talk about, you know who he reminds me of? Who was the guy for the Cowboys that played a couple of years ago? DeMarcus Ware? Was that his name? That son of a bitch?
Yeah.
No, what's his name?
Well, that was a couple years
linebacker.
ago. All right. Maybe.
How many? You know what? What's the guy's name? I hate them. I don't even. So I got his face in my head.
DeMarcus Ware played for Cowboys.
Yeah,
that was more than a couple
Sean
years
Lee?
ago.
He was a linebacker, right? He was really good at getting to the quarterback.
Sean Lee?
No, not
No,
Sean
he's
Lee.
right. It's DeMarcus Ware. He's right.
Am I right? Is that you know who I'm going with, Justin? Right? It's not Charles Haley because I don't see him as that rugged defensive end type. It's DeMarcus Ware, the stand-up linebacker. That's who he reminds me of. Where his moves are electric. He beats the tackle with ease. He's got power. I think if you can get your hands on. See, I think if you could trade back from like 6 to like 9, 10, and end up with like more picks and a kid like that, you stole the draft.
True, and I wouldn't hate that. I like Devin White.
Hard for me.
Me personally, as far as linebacker. If Devin White doesn't drop, which he doesn't drop at Tampa, I have a feeling. This is a feeling. I think Josh Allen's going to drop to us.
Man, if Quentin Williams, see, I got a feeling that Quentin Williams is going to drop. And if that happens, you fucking sprint to the board. You sprint.
Well,
yep.
I also think it's very clear to me that there's some interest at the tackle position in the draft because they had Remmers in, and I could see a scenario where they could still sign him, but they were talking about signing him right after his meeting, and that didn't happen. So
whatever happened with the Remmers thing? It sounded like it was a done deal. Then it was quiet.
It was a done deal.
I think they have to bring in a right tackle, a veteran right tackle, because you never know how the draft is going to go. And I think if you start reaching for need, like if you could bring in a veteran right tackle on the cheap, you know, with a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal or something small, you know, and that doesn't mean that I'm not going to draft the kid if he's there, but I don't want to reach for a position if he's not there. Like I've done a ton of mock drafts, and I suggest you guys do them. And Tim, with that firstpick.com, that is phenomenal. If you guys have not,
dude, isn't that addicting? The fact that you grade and it grades you.
Oh, unbelievable! I absolutely loved it. But when you do a bunch of them, you're like, oh, I want to target this guy. I want to target this guy. And
when you start getting a bunch of them,
what you see is that there's runs on positions, and certain times you miss. And it's not that you're missing; it's that the guys are just going in front of you. And when you come up on the board, if you're looking at it and you have tier 2 players that don't play offensive tackle and a tier 3 player that does play offensive tackle, what do? Like, you don't want to be in a position where you're reaching for the tier 3 player out of desperation, or the tier 3 player out of desperation because he fills a need, when there's tier 2 players at other positions where they're better football players. So I think it would be beneficial for them to bring in a right tackle, a veteran right tackle. Not that you have to depend on them, but, you know, here's another. Depth is a good thing. I mean, I think they should walk away out of the draft with 2 or 3 offensive linemen.
If you traded back like James was talking about, I wouldn't mind a guy like, if we're going to take, let's say, we traded down to 9 or 10, and we got like Jawan Taylor from Florida, who could be right tackle for right now. and then literally be the replacement for Solder when we get rid of him.
There's depth. There's the kid Codesty that I like. Dillard is another tackle.
Kid, and I definitely see he's a right tackle.
I think that Risner, another kid I like that I think that you can get in the second or third round. So I think there's guys out there. The problem is there's not. Guards, so I think you can't wait. But there's a lot of good depth late in the draft. There's a couple of guys that play multiple positions that, if you were to require a right tackle in free agency, not pay millions and millions of dollars, but bring in a solid guy that can compete on an NFL level, that that on a given Sunday you can line them up and not have to worry about somebody ripping Eli's head off or whoever the quarterback is. You line that guy up at right tackle, and now you go into the draft. And now when you draft these guys, because I don't think that signing a right tackle or having Nate Solder or Jalapeno or whoever the fuck is going to play center should eliminate that if the best player on the board when you come up is at that position, you take the guy. And you create a situation where you have competition and depth on your roster.
Gettleman's going to stick by the board, regardless of position. And I have looked at, you guys know, I like the offensive line. There's a lot of good right tackles. There's a couple left tackles, but a lot of good guards, a lot of depth. Mm-hmm. Guys you can wait on. The biggest thing, I'll tell you right now, give me a Wisconsin lineman anytime. I don't care what round. A Wisconsin lineman I'll take any day. Even I saw Ross Pierce Shopper, whatever the hell his name is, the center for Alabama. He's going late. I had no problem taking him.
Evans is another kid. Evans is another kid that you can get later on in the draft that can play multiple positions that you could slide in the right tackle.
Oklahoma's got a couple guys.
All right, let's get to the
guys there.
Let's get to the phones. Let's get to the phones, James.
Oh,
lit up.
I didn't know there were people holding. Yeah, get to the.
There are people here. Hold on, let's see. All right, we'll play a little game. What area code should I go with? 603, 732, 985, 212.
212. Let's go to Manhattan. Let's go to Let's go to New York.
All right, ready? Here we go. What's up, 212 caller? Are you there? 212. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, let's go to
New York City.
New York.
732. What's up? What's up, caller? Where are you calling? Hello.
All right.
What's it?
What's going on?
What?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, Sam from Jersey.
What's up, Sam?
What's up, buddy?
What's on your mind?
I've been thinking today since it came out that we offered the 37th pick for Rosen. Do you think that maybe we should have waited to do that? I think maybe we should have waited during draft night to trade for Rosen, because now that tells teams like the Bengals that they could trade with. Why would they have to trade up to 4 to get Haskins when they could probably, if we already have Rosen, they could probably just trade with the Jags or some team behind us. That now I don't think that premier defensive player will be there. I honestly thought Quentin Williams could fall until today, because now I don't see him happen. I don't see it happening no more after teams knowing that we're already going for another quarterback.
Well, hold on though. Hold on. Everybody knows we're going for another quarterback, and we didn't offer 37 today. We didn't offer 37.
That was
the Giants haven't made it. The Giants haven't made an offer.
They made it sound like that. They made it sound like we offered.
It was implied that the Giants were the team, but I'm pretty confident. I saw a little while ago that I think it was the Chargers who actually were the team that made the offer. So the Giants haven't put themselves out there, which is smart right now. But the Cardinals aren't going to – if the Cardinals are smart, their window is now until maybe around a week before the draft. Because, you don't want to wait till you're on the clock.
Yeah,
you want to strike now while the iron's hot.
Mm-hmm.
You want teams to be able to say they still are a little. They don't know. They don't. The deal right now, Rosen is in front of them. The draft is a different animal. You get into the draft, and anybody can outbid you. Things can happen. You're just dealing with Arizona at this point for Rosen. So I think that the window for them to move is now, not while they're on the clock.
Right.
No, the longer the wait, the more leverage. Honestly, the Giants have all the leverage at this point anyway. They're like, oh, you want to try to rip us off on Rosen? We'll just wait on Haskins, or we'll wait on whoever quarterback we will go with.
See, I don't think so. I think that's naive to look at it. You're not the only team in the league. Like we don't.
Well, that's
we
my
don't
point,
have.
though.
We don't have all the. We don't have all the leverage. We have leverage until another team decides to outbid us.
All right, let's
Like
go.
that's when like you have leverage until somebody says, "I give my first round pick."
All right,
But
thanks a
you're
lot for
right.
calling.
And that's if we're all in on Rosen. If we're all in on Rosen, then you're absolutely right. But if we're like, all right, I'll take Rosen, but I have no problem with my plan B's Haskins.
All right, you ready for the next?
You know?
call? Ready? Here we go. 603.
Yeah.
What's up, caller? Where you calling from? What's your name?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'd like to report a crime in North Jersey. I think Eli Manning is killing the Giants season. Who am I? Little Wayne.
What the?
Go down there.
What's going on?
It's a little low. It sounds
A little bit.
funny. I don't know what that was. I think it was a prank call, but
Was it a prank call? But did he splice some stuff?
yeah,
Together?
it seems
heard
like he was playing some radio clips on there.
Oh, that's
It sounded
phenomenal.
like he talked about Eli Manning on New Jersey somewhere.
Yeah.
I was okay.
All right. Good for that guy. Way to go. Way to get creative.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all about pranks if they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice job.
Oh, here comes someone who's blocking their phone lines. 111 111 1111.
Oh, this is a good one. Just don't be racist.
Yeah. Oh, please don't. What's going on, brother? Where you?
Yeah. Hey, can you hear me? What's up? What's going on?
How's it going? What do you?
What's going on,
How
man?
you guys?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good. This is Max calling from 201. I'm not giving you guys my number. Anyway, listen. No on Rosen.
Good shit, Matt. Nicely played. Touche.
Wait. Hold on. What do you think? I'm going to call you when I'm not doing a podcast? I'm going to call you. No, what's
I
going
don't
on?
want people
How's it going over there?
I'm calling.
How are the kids?
You know what, Matt? That's a good fucking. Now everybody better block because I'm going to start calling people back.
Yeah. Exactly. Don't worry about it. Listen. No on Rosen. Okay, listen. Points to consider. Why are the Cards moving on from him? He's got injury
Because they're
history.
stupid.
He's a kind of a douchebag. Is he going to be able to handle the New York media? He's not a great leader. Not a strong
Wrong.
locker room presence, okay? We're taking
Wrong.
Haskins, baby. We got to go with Haskins. 50 TDs, great pro day. Get that extra year. That's it.
Hey,
Forget about Rosen.
I can't. I'm not going to disagree with you. I like Haskins, but I think that if you can get Rosen with that guaranteed money gone, I don't think you should really believe any of what you just said. Like, I don't think it's accurate. I think that it's a lot of bullshit. I think that he's fine in his locker room with his teammates. I think that he'd be fine in New York City. I think that he'd be great in New York City, honestly. Like, I'm total
Based
180.
on what?
Based on the fact that he's a smart kid.
Larry Fitzgerald back.
He's a smart kid. You don't give a shit what the New York media or what you think. He's gonna say what he feels. He's gonna be his own person. He doesn't give a shit. I get a very Aaron Rodgers feeling when I see him. He's a bad man, I think.
Did you see Haskins when he talked? When he that guy's got leadership written all over him.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you. I agree with you, but I think there's different kinds of leadership. I'm not going to sit here and bet. Like if I look at the way his teammates, talked about him, and if you watch the film, if you see him in the huddle and you see the way they react to him in Arizona, like there's not all bad there. What was bad there was the talent around him. What was bad there was the change in offensive coordinators in the middle of the season. What was bad there was that the wide receivers couldn't get separation, and after Kirk got hurt, it was like a bunch of old women running around out there. So, like,
What about
a lot of people were very high on Josh Rosen a year ago. Go look at Eli Manning's stats his rookie season. Look at some of the great quarterbacks in their rookie season when the teams weren't complete around them. And sometimes you have to go through one of those rough years. Look at what Goff went through a couple of years ago. No one saw that year two light go on.
I'm not a big Goff fan. I don't think Goff is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Everybody's all hyped up.
But would you, I could agree with you, but would you say, Max, that he made marked improvement from year 1 to year 2?
In all honesty, if we walk away with either Haskins or Rosen, I'm a happy man. That's all. That's
exactly
simple as that.
Yeah, but we gotta give up picks for Rosen. Yeah, but we're gonna have to give up picks for Rosen.
You gotta give up a pick for Haskins. I don't understand this, Max. If you got to give up pick 37 for Rosen, and I'm drafting Haskins with pick 6, what the fuck is the difference, Max? It's a draft pick.
Max, what are you doing, Max?
Because we're getting something better. We're getting something better.
I gotta hear it. I can't. If people are like, oh my God, you're gonna give up 17 for Rosen. You just said you would okay giving up 6 for Haskins. If you're getting your quarterback, who gives a shit?
Well, let's put it this way, guys. If we get Rosen, we can have a way better defense way quicker by having 2 first-round picks added to it.
Right.
It's not
Tim,
more.
personally, I have Haskins graded a little higher because of the injury history with Rosen than I do with Rosen. But you know what? Do you know what makes Rosen so intriguing? Is if you can get him for a second-round pick.
So you want to
with
get
the money gone?
But the thing is, remember, James, remember our shows last year. The only thing we ever had on Rosen, the only thing we even said anything bad was his injury history.
Right.
The only thing we ever talked about, and he made it through. He made it through a full season.
Played
behind
the game.
a horrible offensive line.
Yeah.
It's worse than ours.
Yeah, you think the Giants' offensive line is bad? Go watch the Arizona film. Jesus Christ!
If he made it through that season, I'm fine with him.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to say because he made it through that season, he's never going to get injured. Like, to me, there's still some – he showed that he's a tough son of a bitch last year. Like, if you go back and watch the beatings he took, like, you think our line was bad, I got news for you. That dude was getting killed, and he kept getting up. The team was getting killed, and he kept getting up. So, like, again, I think the world of Haskins. I've been screaming Haskins for months. If you're going to take Haskins at 6, I have no problem with it. If you've identified Haskins your guy and you have to trade up to get him, I have no problem with it. But if you're telling me that I can get Rosen with his guaranteed money gone, if you're telling me I can get Rosen for just a second-round pick, cost to value, gentlemen.
Right. Maxie, I'm going to throw Max on hold. Hold on.
What did you say? You said you had Haskins graded over Rosen by how much?
If they were in the same draft, I would have had Haskins. Now, that doesn't mean, like, people are like, oh, my God, you had him above him. Like, it doesn't mean he has a bad grade. Like people have questioned me and been like, oh, my God, well, who did you have last year? Mayfield first, or who did you have second? I said I had Darnold first, and I had Mayfield third, and I had Rosen like 1A, and I had Lamar Jackson right up there with him. But that didn't mean that there were bad grades on any of those guys. I had high. It was like I wasn't disappointed with any of them.
Haskins be like 1B.
Let's remember.
Maybe 2.
Let's remember this too. Let's remember that we are not like James said before, we're not the only team in the league. So there's a very real possibility that someone that is ahead of us, in front of us at 6, might want Haskins.
Yeah.
What's to stop the Raiders from taking Haskins at 4? And then if you're the Giants, Murray's off the board, Haskins is off the board.
Then you got a top 4 defender.
I can sit there.
But you don't have a quarterback.
I can sit there at 6, and I can take my defensive player, and then I have a choice between trading for Josh Rosen on his rookie contract, or trading for or signing David Carr, who's going to want a hell of a lot more money. And I'm not convinced David Carr is better than Josh Rosen.
No, you're going to have to. No, you're going to. That's going to. This isn't going to draft night. Like if it goes to draft night, Arizona's taking Bosa.
I don't.
Yeah, 100%.
think
Because Arizona's the first pick. There's no. All we gotta do is okay. I'm gonna wait the
No,
first
but
pick
what
out.
I'm saying,
Let's see what you do.
I agree with you, James. I agree with you. That's correct. If it gets to draft night, Rosen's not getting traded on draft night because his value will be torpedoed. What I'm saying is, if I'm the Giants,
I don't know about that.
if I'm the Giants and I have to choose between trading for Josh Rosen or sitting and waiting and hoping that Haskins falls to me at 6, I'm trading for Rosen because I have more control over that than I do that Haskins is going to fall to me at 6.
100%, and that's what I was just saying before.
That as well.
Where if you get to the draft, like that's why I said that's why my concern is that once the Giants, which I think is going to happen, if this is serious, the Giants are going to offer 37. I think the teams that are laying in the weeds are those late first-round guys. If those guys get involved, then the Giants have to offer 17. If 17 gets involved, do other teams get involved? It's a domino effect. And that's my concern right now because of that fact alone, that you're better off looking at it and going, if I'm Washington, I can give up one pick and get my quarterback and not have to trade up and give up a bevy of picks to get Haskins to try to jump in front of the Giants. That's attractive to me. If I know the Giants are bidding 17 and I'm 2 picks away, right? And then does Miami come calling? Like Miami needs a quarterback, or are they content to punt to 2020? So there's a lot of teams. Cincinnati.
Listen, it's possible that Miami could invest a pick in a quarterback this year, but they signed Fitzpatrick to that 2-year deal, and let's be honest, they signed him this year with the intent to tank. They're not going anywhere with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
But let me ask you something. See, I think it all depends on what if Haskins plummets. Like, what if you're Miami and you're saying to yourself, our intention right now is to not trade up and get the quarterback. Right now, I'm Miami, right? I'm the Dolphins. I'm saying to myself right now, there's no way that Haskins is getting to me. And I am not willing, with the roster that I have and with the needs that I have, to trade all of these picks to move up to get Haskins. I'm in love with the kid as a player. I think the kid's amazing. But I can't do it. My franchise is not in the position to do it this year. I got a better chance next year when there's those 3 kids coming out. Now you get to draft night. And Haskins falls, and he's on the board at 13, and all it's going to cost you is that 13th pick. Does it change your mind? I don't know that it does or it doesn't. But I know that I think that you would have to if you're doing your due diligence and you don't have a quarterback as a general manager or as an owner, that's a conversation you would have to have, right? Like, you don't just walk the pick to the board. You say, holy shit, Haskins dropped. Pick up the phone. Does somebody want him if we don't want him? Like, so all that stuff depends. And if Miami's willing to do that, what's their grade on Rosen if the price ends up being 17 or 15? Does that entice them? I don't know that it does or it doesn't, but as this thing goes along and as the price gets raised, you don't know, like, once the first round pick becomes involved and that's the price and it gets out there, I don't think it's like, oh, well, if the Patriots are going to give it up for 32, I'm San Diego, I'll give you 28. I'm the Giants, I'll give you 17. I'm Cincinnati, I'll give you this. Like, you don't know what's going to come. That's why I'm saying what I'm praying is that he wants to be in New York. Arizona knows that, and that they're willing to say, okay, this is a fucked up situation. We're going to get you where you want to go, kid. And I'm hoping that it ties into what Marcos told us earlier, that hey, he's got people putting out feelers that New York may be the place he's going to be. I'm not trying to scare you, John. I'm just trying to give out all the feasible, like, these are possible scenarios that Giant fans need to hear. Like, this isn't, like, I don't want to sit, like, I would love to give up 37 and just be like, okay, here, Arizona, here's 37. But, like, if Belichick knows 37's on the board, is he enticed? Like, if he knows it's only 5 picks away that's going to secure Rosen, does that bring him to the table? I'm not trying to scare you. I just think that it's a conversation that we need to recognize might be possible and might happen.
All right, let's get to our next guy. Ready? 985. The area code's 985.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Brother? Where are you calling from?
This is Glenn calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Ooh.
I know,
Hey!
from
Juicy.
New York. I missed you last week, so I was listening. You know, now I have a few minutes here, but yeah, I write for the new NYGUnderground.com. I follow the Giants, follow Captain, follow your website. So yeah,
Big Glenn.
it's typical. Yes. Yeah,
Go ahead. I'm just not going to go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, what a mess with the Giants. I mean, so typical. I mean, I'm listening to you guys, and you know, if they would have cut Eli, this would have been, you know, more practical. But keeping Eli around, you think the Giants are going to actually do something? I really don't think so.
Well,
you know, I just think, you know, Dinosaur Breath was on. I call him Gettleman. He was on. You think he's going to trade down or trade up? I mean, what do you think he's going to do?
It's not.
No, I don't.
It's
My
not grading the
my Gettleman's terrifying. Like when he sits there on Good Morning Football and talks about Eli and how they have the most points in the NFC, like that matters.
Right.
It is scary. And then you see a report by Vacchiano before that, like, fuck 2019, like Manning may be back in 2020. And that leads you to believe, like, how, like, to me, to bring in Haskins, and I've said this before, to bring in Haskins or to bring in Rosen, I'm all for it. Here's the flip side of that coin, Giant fans. If it goes bad early in the season,
right?
Yikes, right? Because if you start off 1-4, 1-5, and you have Josh Rosen or Haskins on your bench,
it's going to happen to
I don't
Eli.
care how good Eli's playing. At that point, it's like let's go. Like, we get the kid in. What are we doing?
Right. That's the whole point. I mean, I don't understand what they're. I mean, I'm still perplexed over here. I live in Baton Rouge here, and you know, LSU's, you know, right around the corner, and people are shaking their heads like, why did they trade Beckham? You know, that they've stunk, you know, for so long, you know, and it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, you know, there was articles even coming out today. I think, who was it, Pat Leonard from the news, said that he's asking people around, and people around the NFL are like, the Giants got fleeced in that deal. You know, so it goes to show you, the Giants. I don't know. I know you've been calling in to Captain, calling in to Francesa. You know,
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
But the thing is, you guys, you and Evan Silva, because I've been watching it all play out. But it really is a shame with the Giants, because you really don't know, you know, what direction they're going in, because it doesn't make any sense. If you're going to do a true rebuild, you know, get financially secure. You know, get them, and the cap's out of control. And the other thing, too, they keep on picking up all these Cardinals. You know, what's going on with that? You know, like, they keep on signing these ex-Cardinals. I mean, I don't know what the heck is going on at 1925 Giants Way.
Maybe we're going to pick up
I think there's something that Giant fans need to realize.
We're going to pick up another Cardinal.
While we see a rebuild,
yeah,
and this was what was so frustrating last year when I was screaming this, was we need a rebuild, like start from scratch.
Screaming is correct.
And now here we are. Like, it's bad. Like, it's a bad situation. And to think that I don't think that they understand, or that they're in denial. They don't think it is as bad as a lot of people are realizing it is now. And then when you hear the narrative, how Mara is mad how we could think that there's a sentimental aspect in all of this. Like, oh my God, like, are you kidding me, Matt John? Like, like go back and look at the timeline, and what would you think? And when you see some of the comments about Eli and his play, and while I don't think it's all on him, I think that you could watch the film and see that he left a lot of plays out there. For them to just pass over that, it's troubling. They don't think they're rebuilding. They think they have a team that can compete for a Super Bowl. They're plugging in pieces into Betch's system to try to make a run now. They think they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Giant
it is, and Captain, you bring out a good point about Belichick. With Rosen, he might be laying in the weeds right there, trying to figure out, because Brady's not going to play forever. You made a good point. So, but with the Giants, we don't really know what they're doing. Gettleman talks about the defense. So you think, well, maybe he'll go defense in the draft. This leaks out, but I just don't understand the whole Eli thing. Keeping him around, and he hasn't said anything publicly since they announced that they were going to keep him. But I mean, how do you justify keeping him around? I mean, he's been horrible the last 3 years.
Here's how they're justifying it. They're telling us that they scored the most points in the NFC last year. They're telling us that they lost a bunch of close games. What they're not telling you is that we were losing by 2 scores, and some of those close games were like last-minute garbage scores at the end of the game. That we had 3 quarters where we had maybe 70 yards, and then all of a sudden, down 3 scores, Eli comes up with a garbage 10 points late.
Today,
and go look at his numbers in the first 3 quarters
today
of the
he
season,
said,
and then the fourth quarter of the season.
Today he said that.
No, you're right.
James, today he said the defense didn't hold their own in the second half of the season, maybe because we traded everyone.
Yeah.
Doesn't mention that.
It's amazing that they keep bringing that up, and they say they lost Collins for the last couple of games. They traded Apple away, and if you look at the numbers, Apple got better. Okay, he was playing well when they traded him. All right, and then Francesca went on a rant. They got rid of him, and then the kid He played well in New Orleans, whether you like him or not.
Yes. He played well, because I've watched the game. My wife's a Saints fan, so we're watching the games. It's like, who's this guy from the Giants? She says he's good. He's good.
He got better. He progressed as a player. I mean, I didn't like him for the shit that he pulled here. I thought he was a bad seed. They kept him around. They gave him another chance. And then halfway through the season, when he was playing pretty well, they got rid of him.
Yeah.
So nothing makes sense right now. It doesn't make sense to trade Snacks and then to not trade Collins. There's a lot of, and that's why when you say if Gettleman walks away with this guy, and this guy, is it Gettlemania? Like, no, it's not. Like, there's been too many questionable decisions. There's too many other pieces that need to be filled to just say, oh, he's done 2 or 3 good things. Look at the 7 things he's done bad.
Look, I agree with you. There's a guy that writes for the Ringer, Kevin Clark. I've been reading some of his articles. He's ripped Gettleman a new one, over the last few weeks, and even last year, with Gettleman, just like, what the heck are the Giants doing? I mean, he was on a podcast on the Ringer, and they called it the fall of the Giants. I mean, what the heck is going? Like, everyone outside of New York knows the Giants are screwed up. Except, the Giants keep on, it reminds me of, like, the guy that was the Iraqi minister, when we were bombing Iraq, and he comes on and says everything's going okay, we're beating the U.S. That's what the Giants are right now. I mean, they don't make any sense.
The Giants
they're not making it easier.
Do you guys remember the Naked Gun movie with Frank Drebin?
Yes.
Remember the scene where he's on the car and he's on the rocket, and the rocket goes into the firework place? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
That's the Giants right now. And Drebin is Gettleman, and he's standing there and he's going, nothing to see here. Please disperse.
Yep. It's so true. It's so true. But you had a good. I listened to you. Had a good conversation about what's going on. I mean, it sounds really good. With Rosen, I'm in agreement with you. But I mean, you make the point about if Eli bombs out, do they really want like a quarterback controversy? I mean,
there's $1 million question.
Well, they can't. Well, it's coming.
Bring the guy in.
Tell John Matt.
Is it really a quarterback controversy if Eli's?
It's coming either way.
Exactly.
Hey man,
gonna
I'm
happen,
with you.
happen.
Like I honestly, like I'm not
You
worried
guys
about
are-
his feelings. Like bring it. He's 38 years old. If he can't take a guy playing behind him, and look at what happened with Alex Smith. Like when Mahomes came in, Alex Smith went off. Like maybe Eli gets pissed.
Yeah.
And we catch lightning in a bottle for we get 2010, 2011 Eli for a little bit. Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
nice?
when he gets a ring and we extend him for like 5 years.
Yeah, right. How about that? No, but I mean that's not. It's not a bad thing to have competition on the roster. One of the places where they have failed is they've babied him to the point where there's not been any competition on the roster whatsoever for him.
Don't say
The
don't
only
say the
challenge-
Giants have sentimental value. Don't say it. They don't.
The only guy that got close, right? The only guy that got close was Davis Webb, and he didn't even get close. It got close to the point where he was confirmed that he was going to be the second stringer. He took all the fucking snaps in preseason, and then they were like, whoa, well, if we bring this guy on board and we start off slow, the people are going to start screaming for him, get rid of him.
All right. Thanks for the call. I'm going to jump to the. Oh, 2-1-2. It seems to
This
be.
Eli thing comes down to this. They are not going to move on from Eli without the replacement on the roster.
Chad Kelly, can you hear me?
No.
And then
Up on that one.
all this stuff all these interviews and stuff mean nothing. It's smoke screens and lip service. What are you going to talk bad about Eli? He's the only quarterback we got on the roster right now.
Chad Kelly, can you hear me?
All right, ready? Let's go to the next caller. 2-1-2. Are you there?
This is Stanley, and I immediately disagree with the fact that you're saying that you're throwing Gettleman under the bus. Let me tell you something.
And then I'm backing up over him, and then I'm running over him, and I'm backing up over him again.
Take it easy. 1 second. Let me explain something to you. You don't see the big picture. You're like the guy that comes over to the guy that's painting a picture. He's trying to paint a turtle or whatever. And all of a sudden you're saying, hey, what are you painting? That doesn't look like a painting. Hey, the guy just put his brush right down on the canvas and already you know,
nice little bush. We'll make a nice little bush right here, a little lake. Nice little canvas.
Let me tell you.
Tell me something.
There's gonna be he's gonna make everything right. He's cleaning up Jerry Reese's
Pieces.
crap for the last 4 or 5 years. So
Okay.
you don't have any. So listen, he had to clean up a lot of garbage. What do you want? The guy to come in? He can't. He's working miracles. And I have no problem with the
Working miracles. Hold on. If you're gonna come on and you're gonna sing the praises of this old dementia-ridden canasta playing guy, then let's talk facts. Okay, so you're okay with letting Collins go with not getting any picks for him.
Listen. We had to get rid of Collins.
You're okay with turning your phone off on the clock for the draft.
Listen, get rid of Collins like when you go over your friend's house and you burn his rug. You got to do things sometimes. And that's
You
what
got to shut your phone off when you're on the clock?
Excuse me?
You got to shut your phone off when you're on the clock?
No, you got to burn your friend's rug. It's just
okay, is that shutting? Answer the question about the fucking rug. If you're on the clock as a general manager and there's 4 quarterbacks on the board and you're picking second and have no interest in them, do you shut your phones off when you're on the clock?
Listen,
yes.
If one of them wasn't Baker Mayfield,
it's a yes-no question, Stanley.
The rest of those guys, they look like retards. We don't want any of those guys, especially that big head Donald.
That's my safe word, Stanley.
First of all, you need to call back every week.
Yeah,
can call back because you guys lay off of Dave Gettleman. That's all.
I think this is Dave Gettleman.
Stanley,
I think let him fucking paint his picture. Let him paint his picture.
Stanley needs to have a weekly spot on our show. Stanley, you're welcome back anytime.
Stanley, you and man.
Stanley's got to be like Stanley was there when Stanley's like, you know who Stanley is? Charlie Casserly's brother. That's Stanley Casserly. That's Stanley
Charlie
Casserly.
Casserly, fuck Charlie Casserly, fuck those guys. I don't give a shit about any of those guys. Let me tell you something. If you guys have half of a brain, you take that guy Haskins and you forget about that guy Josh Rosen. That guy looks like, I don't know what he looks like. He looked like somebody pulled his nose. He got the funny ears. I don't like the way he talks. He's a real, he's a moron. Forget it.
Marco, you want to talk about paintings? Look at this painting I got over here. I got the one dog looking this way and the other dog looking that way. And this guy's going,
what
hey,
do you want?
What do you want from me?
What do you want from me? You know, I need to borrow this knife. I need to borrow this knife. The paw, the hoof, the hoof.
There you go, the hoof. It's the hoof. What do you call it? The hoof.
The paw.
It's the hoof.
The hoof. The hoof.
They got good Danish there.
No, hey, without
They
the
got
beard.
good Danish there.
Without the beard.
Oh, that's fucking great. That's
You know,
great.
Captain
Good call,
Negative.
Stanley. That was great.
Just let gentleman paint his fucking picture.
Oh, that was Joe Pesci in the. Oh my God, Stanley! What a
So
great.
Pesci.
Thank you. Thank you for calling Stanley. Jesus.
Oh, God.
Get that guy a weekly
You know
spot.
what? I haven't been to New York in a while. It made it made me reminisce a little bit.
Oh my Lord, is that guy not great?
You gotta see the chat of what everyone's putting in there. It's hysterical.
Oh, am I a clown? You think I'm funny? Everybody's quoting Goodfellas. Oh. Oh.
You know you're a muttering stuttering prick, Spider. I can't even say it. You're a muttering stuttering prick, Spider. Oh my God, it's so funny. That was good.
Oh, Jesus. Nice. Hey, he popped his cherry.
I want to shot him in his big freaking mouth. Oh my God.
Oh, love it. Oh, I absolutely love it. All the kids listening, all you young kids, if you haven't seen Goodfellas, do it.
It's great.
Oh. I want to shoot him in his fucking mouth.
Jimmy and I had a good talk. The Lawrence Taylor.
Man, what are you doing there? Don't go fuck your mother. So I'm laying in the weeds in Sea Caucus, right? Hey, you're resting. Yeah, here I'm resting. Yeah, park in a bench. Yeah, I'm resting. They bring me in, they start asking me questions. Just say bing, pow, boo. Oh, Christ.
That just sent everything totally through. Man, that was funny. It's a familiar number too.
Oh, somebody just quoted Rocky. Take it to the zoo. Like every time to the zoo.
Are you guys too young to remember the Jerky Boys? No, we are. I'm not too young.
Oh no, we are right there with you with the Jerky Boys, giant fan, Jack. We are there, buddy. Like we are big Jerky Boys fans.
Jerky Boys want to prank us, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I would love
I've
to get
asked
a
them
call
to.
from Sal Rosenberg.
You know they have a new album coming out, right?
I'd be interested to hear that.
I would love them to.
Oh God, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, are you there? Hello.
I'll bring my shoes and my glasses.
My glasses. I fell down the stairs and I lost my shoes and my glasses.
He beat me about the head, neck, breast area mercilessly.
He beat me about the head unmercifully. Oh God and baby Jesus, can you help me? Oh, I'm crying.
Frank Rizzo. Frank Rizzo.
I'll wrap your head in with a ratchet.
Am I here to amuse you?
Get Brett Ware, I said. Remember that one? Get Brett Ware, I said.
No.
Get Dave Gettleman, I said.
Yeah, I'm calling about. Yeah, I'm calling about the bench work. Oh, you're calling about the bench work. How many pieces do you do? Pieces. Pounds, baby. Pounds.
Can we play a call? Do we have the capability to play a Jerky Boys call? Do you remember
They'll-
the one where they call the funeral? He calls the funeral home and he asked them if they have a 2-for-1 because he just murdered his parents. You got one of those 2-for-1 deals. I bring them in the back. We put them in a casket.
Oh, that's right. Where he's looking for a trucking job. I'll do wheelies in the fucking truck.
Did you ever hear the one where they put ads in the paper and had people call them?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
And the guy calls in for the game show, the contestant on Jeopardy.
Wrong.
And he fucking asks him, he goes, how many picks are in a pair? And the guy goes, 2. He goes, you know damn well there are more than 2 picks in a pair. The answer is marsupial, sir.
You did not phrase it in a question, sir. Oh.
And if you do not learn to spit out answers like that, that man is liable to fucking punch you in the face.
He's gonna come around that podium.
Spit out answers. Wrong, sir. Because they are marsupials. Members of the marsupial family.
Oh my. So funny.
Some guy calling in for a dance class. He's like, I want to fucking dance. It's my tuba. I want to dance, you bastard. I want to dance, you prick.
I have these guys doing work on my roofs. There's happening. What's going on up there?
They're swinging around. They're fucking flying through.
Oh my god.
No, we can't pull ourselves together, bro. We can't. We're down the rabbit hole now. Sorry, Chip Marshall. You fucking worry about changing your name, Chip Marshall. Where the fuck are you?
They can't put themselves together.
Hello, Chip Marshall. We're trying to pull ourselves together. I would have a better chance of doing it if I could find my shoes and my glasses. My wife thinks she knows what she's doing, so I fire her off the roof too.
Oh my god, that was
Steve M. Steve M, nice one there, buddy. Fire her off the roof too. Oh, my cheeks hurt.
That's right. You're gonna drive, Danny Diaz. You're gonna drive 60 miles to work. Hey, that's my business. What I do. Oh my god. You got a tank. You got a tank. I'll sell a fucking tank. Oh my god.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, what? Tim, are you collecting birds? What's going on over there?
Somebody just went back to it. We didn't touch on that. Somebody, J Moda 23, just fired back with a little. He wants to go back to Goodfellas a little bit. He said, "Spite of that bandage on your foot is bigger than your fucking head." I love our listeners. Love our listeners.
Oh God! Now you guys are killing me.
I've asked the Jerky Boys guy on the podcast at least 15 times. Should I do it again now?
Yeah.
Was he busy?
They're putting out new stuff. I'm guessing so.
Okay, I'll
Yeah, he's gonna tell them the fans are going off. We're quoting them. We need him to call in.
I'll do it
Yeah.
right now.
The fuck is he doing?
I just want to put it out there, guys. I just want you guys to realize in 2 weeks, the show's going to go off the rails once Game of Thrones comes back.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably correct.
And we're gonna steal a lot of sound bites.
Oh yeah.
You know nothing, John. You know nothing, Dave Gettleman. Does everyone, are we all caught up? Justin, do you watch Game of Thrones?
Who's not caught up?
My wife and I watched like 2 episodes last year, and we couldn't get into it.
Oh, my God.
One of those.
Oh God.
You gave up after 2 episodes?
There's a lot of people. It's hard to know who's who.
It evens out. You got to get through. A lot of them, they get killed, and then it becomes fun. Like a lot of those people just get killed.
I feel like
The first episode,
if I had
the
a
first episode is
roadmap
literally.
for how everybody was related and who was who.
Listen, first episode was incest and attempted child murder. How are you not so
Yo,
first episode?
I'll tell you the truth. I didn't start watching it until like right before season 5 came out, and I think one of the shows, like I was watching The Leftovers on HBO, and that season 1 ended, and I was like watching, and I saw all the commercials for season 5, and I was looking for a new show, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch it. And then that first episode, I was sort of like on the fence, and then when he pushes Bran out the window, I was all in. I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
Yes.
Like, oh.
Yeah. Kill the kid. This is awesome. Yeah. Push the kid out the
They
window.
don't play around. They kill
Nah,
kids.
this is great. Yeah. So, like, two out Justin. Oh my God, buddy. You missed all the good battles, Justin.
You're saying get back in.
I'm dive back in. Dive back in. Like, don't get back in. Dive back in. Like it's April 14th. I'm gonna require that you watch at least 6 episodes a night until you're caught up.
Yeah. Yes. You might as well take the next 2 weeks off and just.
This may require a couple of PTO days on your part, but I don't feel bad for you because you put yourself in this predicament, Justin.
I'll let you call my boss. You can tell him.
Let me tell you something.
All right, I tweeted at him. I tweeted out his link.
What just happened? Someone fall?
You falling and you can't.
We tweeted the Jersey Boy. I don't even have his. I don't even know if I'm following him on Twitter.
I just did. I just tweeted him. You can just take a look at what I did.
I'll tag onto it. Yeah, I'll find yours. I'll just smell his. Oh, Rodney
James,
Dangerfield.
I just want to ask you something. Do you work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you work? Because Twitter, yes, I know.
All day.
Ridiculous.
All day.
How many tweets you do all day long? And I swear you look for anybody to troll.
Mm-hmm.
Troll?
Just you want to call it like arguing or whatever. You're trolling.
I can't. No. It's not trolling. It's correcting dumb Giant fans. I'm doing a service to the fan base. You can look at it as trolling. But when you read the comments,
how many people you blocked by?
OBJ and Paul Gattino. So I'm winning. Oh, and Giants Insider, because I made them admit that they were OBJ fans and not Giant fans. So they blocked me as well. So I'm winning. Like, the people that block me, it's on them. They don't want an edge of
I don't know how Carl Banks hasn't blocked you yet.
because I've gone back and forth with Carl Banks, but then I've let him know, like, towards the end of our arguments that, hey, Carl, huge fan. Like, you know, I love you. I disagree with you. I think you're a fucking homer. But, like,
you argue with him for an hour, you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Go back there. You go back and look at the tweets where I've actually been like, my wife, he said something to me, and I was like, my wife feels the exact same way. And he came back, like, laughing or something. I think when Carl sees Captain Negative, he knows, like, that I'm a passionate Giant fan. I'm coming from a good place, and we just may disagree.
What happened? What happened when
I called him out on the Steve Smith. He retweeted. He mentioned Francesa in a tweet, and it's funny. Like, these guys, like, they always retweet you or they copy your tweet when, like, they think they have one up, but when they don't, they just fucking disappear. So on the day where Francesa compared Golden Tate to Steve Smith Sr., you can go back and look at the tweets. When I quoted Banks' tweet, like, okay, which Steve Smith are we talking about? Like, the Steve Smith or our Steve Smith? Because if it's the Steve Smith, it's an insult to Golden Tate. And if it's if it's our Steve Smith, it's an insult to him completely comparing Golden Tate to him. And if it's the other Steve Smith who played for us, it's an insult to Golden Tate. So, like, how are you endorsing this guy, like, being this phenomenal wide receiver, and he didn't say a fucking word? I mean, it's the truth. Steve Smith Sr., you're going to compare for as much, and I'm a Golden Tate fan. But if anyone, I don't consider that trolling. I consider that a good deed. Like, if someone says that Steve Smith Sr., that Golden Tate is, I'm educating them by telling them you're on fucking crack.
This is what I picture. This is what I picture, James, is you see a tweet that you disagree with, and you literally hear music in the background, and all of a sudden your cape's flying. And you're like, I'm going in.
Here I come to ruin your day.
Person.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Oh, wait.
And I've done a lot of defending. I've had to do a lot of defending. I've tied my name to Chad Kelly.
Hold on.
Chad Kelly, can you hear me?
Hold on. I'm lying in a puddle of my own piss and blood. Uncle Freddie died.
Uncle Freddie died.
Uncle Freddie died.
Oh.
Oh, so funny. Oh. he hurt me with his words.
Jerky boy guy. Come on the show, jerky boy guy.
Yeah, please. Uncle Freddie died. Oh my goodness, Uncle Freddie died. Hey, Martha! No, isn't it something like that? No, Uncle Freddie didn't die. Uncle Freddie didn't die.
Oh, Christ almighty.
These young kids have no idea who Jerky Boys are.
I so needed this show tonight. You have no clue. Oh, Jesus.
they're like, what's prank calling? Did you actually pick up the,
I feel like I did. And anybody else feel like this? I feel like I did like 7,500 sit-ups because my stomach is killing me from laughing so hard. Oh my God!
I blame it on Stanley. Stanley turned the.
Yeah, Stanley really set it off. Thank you, Stanley. We were all business until Stanley called in. We were talking about trading back and pick, and Stanley just.
I just love that he's, the picture he's. Why don't you get off Dave Gettleman's painting, James?
Oh, the Dave Gettleman. But what we need is Marco.
Finish Dave.
Tomorrow, we need this stat. We need a picture of Bob Ross with Dave Gettleman's face on. on the board, on the board, you got to put like maybe X's and O's or something, like a football, like a whiteboard or something.
You have Dave Gettleman as Bob Ross, and he's painting Eli.
Oh God.
For all the people that are listening, we have gone off the rails. If you're new and listening on YouTube, please subscribe, throw a thumbs up.
You're used to it.
This is what happens. Oh God, so funny.
So funny.
This is off season. Nothing we can do about it, guys. This is off season.
So there's a ton of stuff going on, but Stanley just Stanleyed us.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's really on a lot of screens going on. That's why I don't believe like all these interviews that Gettleman and Sherman are doing. That's just all bullshit. You know, it's whatever. But the Rosen thing, I'm literally watching Twitter every hour, hoping Rosen news goes down.
Tim, you don't think they honestly feel that way about Eli? You think it's all lip service?
I think you got to pump him up. He's the only quarterback on the roster. It's not like you're gonna be like talking shit about him all off season and be like, all right,
I'm not saying you have to talk. There's a difference between saying what needs to be said and painting a picture that doesn't exist. Right? Like painting an imaginary picture of a place is one thing. But
Here's the Eli thing, and I'll say it again. Eli will be replaced when they have his replacement on the roster. So
yes. You're not going to say nothing about a guy if you don't have the replacement yet.
You had mentioned earlier. It's like
but you can.
You have the replacement lined up. Nobody quits the job before they have the replacement job lined up. You might
guys, what happened to the one person that criticized Eli? What happened to the one person that said the pocket, is going to be dirty, and we need our quarterback to have some quick feet and step up in the pocket?
He's looking for a job. He's looking.
I'm talking reality here, guys. You can say that Eli is your starting quarterback and still set the expectation that the play needs to be better and that we're going to bring in competition. You're under contract and you're our player, but we're going to bring in competition on the roster, and the best player is going to play.
You know what, guys? This is just Jeter farewell tour. Is just with Eli.
This is the
Jeter should have been playing that last year. Eli shouldn't be playing this last year, but it is what it is. They're gonna let him play. Let him play.
Well,
this is what I see.
We still got a few.
Can I say something? We got breaking news here a little bit. Breaking news here a little bit. A recent quote an hour ago.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Oh, Chris Carter?
According to Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt, Joel Klatt was the gentleman who was on TV earlier this morning and who mentioned the Chargers, the Pats, and the Giants. And he's the one that said that he confirmed that there was a second-round pick offered to Arizona. An hour ago, retweeted at WBG84, retweets. According to Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt, the Cardinals' relationship with Josh Rosen is irreparable. I don't think, and then in quotes it says, I don't think Arizona cannot, not in capitals, I don't think Arizona can not select Kyler at this point. Chew on that.
Well, I think that is pretty much common sense. I mean, you wouldn't be pissed off if you're Rosen.
No. I think that seems to me that is something that we haven't seen yet. Like we know now that it's not a smoke screen. That's what that says to me. Like up until this point, you could very easily have made the case that Arizona is playing coy and trying to get someone to offer them a king's ransom for that first pick, and that they have no intention whatsoever of trading Josh Rosen. What that tweet says to me, what that quote says to me, is that now there's fire. Before it was smoke, now there's fire. And now all the Giant fans are going to come out and they're going to say, they have no leverage, they have no leverage. Be careful with that, okay? You only have leverage, but if there's multiple teams involved, the Cardinals have leverage. If he has a no-trade clause and he says, I want to go play for the Giants, the Cardinals have no leverage. So let's not, like, this is a huge development if this is true, but let's not just automatically put him in blue yet. There's going to be a process here where you're going to have to outbid somebody.
And guess what?
Here's the thing, though.
We got some
Do you
pieces.
think Rosen just went to the GM and was like, hey, you guys just put a smoke screen out there, right? You guys aren't really taking Murray. And then the
No.
GM's like walking by, I'm like shrugging his shoulders, like, eh.
Well, this says to me, like, you didn't know, like, if we thought it was a smokescreen, they could have very easily have went to him on the side and been like, Josh, you're our guy. Everything that you hear, I'm trying to get somebody to trade up to one. Like, you could have very easily have had that conversation with him. And then if you're on the same page with him and that communication is crystal clear and consistent, then you have no issues. What the Cardinals' relationship with Josh Rosen is irreparable. I don't think that Arizona cannot select. Like, if the relationship is bad, then that means they did not go to him, and that everything they've said has been right in front of his face, but sort of not in front of his face, right? Like media, stuff like that, stuff getting back to him, stuff that he's seeing. And if there's no communication between point A and point B, and everything's coming in from point C, that's where the relationships get damaged. So, like, this is, to me, this is the first time where I'm convinced that he's available.
Well, and honestly, it doesn't even have to be that
Wait.
complicated. It could be literally, hey, Rosen, we're taking Murray. And he's pissed off about it.
I was convinced he was available last night when the CEO tweeted that he was at a business meeting telling his business partner that he was going to New York.
Yeah, well, not me. I still was. You got to remember, I'm Captain Negative, so I wasn't. I needed that to see that, to know that he's available.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Sorry, Marco.
CEO.
I'm sorry, Marco.
I just want to. I want to.
I'm sorry,
Really?
Marco.
Cardinals.
At least you know I'm not a liar.
Marco.
At least you can
Marco,
never call me a liar. I'm very honest with you guys.
Marco, that's blatant disrespect.
He didn't.
I wouldn't say that. I would say it's my personality. Like, I don't, like, to me, I've been telling you guys all along, I don't even believe, like, I think if Arizona trades them, they are stupid. Like, I think they're making a huge mistake.
So
I think they're making.
you thought I was lying?
No, I didn't think you were lying.
Do I have to show you?
Know that you don't know if his people are like, hey, by the way, there's a chance that he can end up in New York. Like we don't know how this thing is going to go. The Cardinals aren't communicating with Josh, and he may end up here. And if he does, we want to discuss some ideas. That conversation could happen, and if you're his agent, it should happen. If you're hearing trade whispers about him and you're his agent, then you should be all over the markets that are possibly that are interested in him, trying to set up potential deals for the future. So no, I didn't doubt that conversation happened. I doubted that he was available. I didn't think that in their right mind that they would actually take him at 10 last year, because I do think he has a lot of talent, and that they would trade him a year after that for, in my opinion, a midget, a one-trick pony, and to trade him away after a year, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But if they're going to do it, like, I'm all in. I just didn't believe it until irreparable.
You didn't
had
believe
me
it
at
when,
irreparable.
You didn't believe it when our CEO had it, but when some guy on Twitter that claims he works for Fox has it, then you
He
believe
doesn't
it.
claim he works for Fox. He works for Fox.
Take notes, Marco. Take notes.
The notes are taken. Oh, we got an additional last minute trickle and call. Let's see. 8-4.
I hope
What's going on, brother?
Hey guys,
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
good. This is Frankie in dreaded New Jersey.
What's up, Frank?
Hey, what's up, Frankie?
What's up, guys?
King of the jug handle turns.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Gettleman's trigger finger. That's who I am.
So what's on your
listen,
mind?
I'm willing to give. He's done so much bad that I'm willing to give him another year to see how this fucking thing works out. Is that fair?
I don't think we have a shot. I don't think we have a choice, buddy. I think that we're in it now. We just got to hope that we can right the ship.
Yeah, it's fair. I'm a Giant fan for life. So what the hell am I gonna do? I can't fire the guy. I'm not Mr. Mara's son or whoever the fuck's over there making the decisions. Anyway,
Mike Francesa, apparently.
yeah, Mike. Hey, listen, I'm gonna call him up and see if he needs a partner, man. I'm gonna get the Captain Negative to be his fucking partner.
There you
Can you
go.
imagine that? That would be a great. Can you imagine me and Francis? I'll tell you that I would fucking yell right at him, that fat bastard. I go right at him.
Hey, check this out, man. Josh Rosen for the Giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
We keep our 6th pick and we pick fucking Haskins.
Both.
Hello?
And Eli.
Both of
It'll
them.
work.
Both.
Think
You want
about
both
that.
of them?
Think about it. 3rd round.
I'm not opposed to it.
whatever. What do
I'm
you
not
think?
opposed to it.
What's wrong with that?
What are you gonna do?
I don't think there's any.
Eli should pack his bags immediately if that happens.
If you think outside the box, right? If you're a Giant general manager right now and you're looking at I can make a case for what the caller said, because if you look at the roster completely and you said to yourself, you know what, I need to start from scratch, right? I'm gonna trade away any asset that I have. I'm gonna start from scratch. I'm gonna clear my cap deck, right? I don't know. This is a fairy tale, okay? But if you told me the price for Rosen was low, and I had a chance to walk away from Eli, and I could bring in Rosen on that contract low, and then Haskins fell to me and I didn't have to give up anything at 6, bet your ass I'd consider taking them. Because at that point,
contract. 2 rookie contracts.
you're on rookie. You got 2 guys on rookie contracts, and think of the position that you're in. If you hit on one, great. If one sucks, you're golden. If you hit on both, jackpot.
There you go.
So I don't, and if it's early enough and you said to yourself, okay, well, we're clearing the deck, so we're going to let the best guy compete and win the job. If that's the case, then I have no problem with bringing in 2 talents like that, letting them sort it out, and creating a situation where in the next year or 2, when one of those guys is at the end of his contract, you can pick up and go ahead, and you can go ahead and trade that for a bevy of picks and put yourself in a better position. So it's outside the box, but with these rookie contracts, it's feasible.
I understand that, but you're literally giving a backup, somebody that's not going to play. One of them is not going to play.
Yeah, but the quarterback is such a valuable position, Tim, that if you can get assets like that, and again, I think it depends on your roster. Like, if you're a team right now that you're, like, if you're a team that's close and you're getting Josh Rosen, you're plugging him in and he's playing, right? If you feel like your roster's pretty much – if you're starting from scratch and a player like Haskins fell in your lap at 6 or something like that after you made the trade for Rosen and you gave up pick 37 or it didn't cost you very much, if you're clearing the decks, I'm not opposed to it. I've seen crazier shit.
Well, here's the deal. If this Rosen trade goes down, let's say it's for the second, whatever. If the Rosen trade goes down, I want to pre-thank Arizona for getting Giants back on track, because this would allow us to get the quarterback. It allow us to get 2 stars on defense, if not 3 or 4.
Thank you, Tim.
In the first round. And
there's the attractive part of acquiring Rosen. if you can get him on less than a first-round pick. You have this quarterback situation taken care of. You have hope at the quarterback situation, young hope, and then you got to hope that he goes ahead and nails those picks out of the park.
Well,
and if you're doing mocks and you're looking at it, at 6 and 17, you're going to walk away with two. If you're not taking a quarterback at 6 and 17, you're going to walk away with two really good football players. I don't know what position they'll be at. Defensive lineman.
What we talked about, if you have a quarterback before the draft even starts, so Rosen trade would happen before the draft starts. That opens up the whole draft.
The entire draft.
Because it's not like, oh crap, this guy's fallen, but I want to grab Haskins, or oh crap, this guy's fallen at 17, but I need to grab a quarterback.
Yeah, and let's get what I said before straight. Like if Eli's on your roster, when you get to 6, if Haskins on the board, you pass him up or you trade back. Like so, I'm not saying that they would do that in this situation. I'm saying that if the situation was completely different and you were a GM in a unique situation, you can make a case that's not a bad thing to do. In our situation with Eli on the roster, it would be a waste of a pick to take Haskins. So if you get to 6, there's two questions: who's on the board? And what are the offers coming in for 6? So you get the feeling with Gettleman that he's going to take the best player on the board at that point. And I don't think that player, regardless of who it is, when you look at the board, is going to be a bad prospect. And then when you do the numbers and you look at the other stuff, if Washington was to jump at a quarterback, if one of those teams in that middle take lock, if they don't, the players that are going to be at 17 are gems. If some quarterbacks go between us and 17, oh man, are you walking away with 2 gems. And you can go run the numbers and do the mock drafts and do it 10, 15 times. Just do the first round and look at the different players that are going to be there for you on the board at 6 and 17, no matter the scenario. And that's why I think when Giant fans go, we need a edge rusher and a tackle. Like, no. Okay, you need 2 good football players. Okay, if the board falls a certain way and Greedy Williams is there at 17, Greedy Williams needs to be an option for you. Okay, if the board falls a certain way and the best player on the board is Ed Oliver, you need to take Ed Oliver. So I think that you have holes all over this roster. Take good players.
We have enough draft picks, so that shouldn't be an issue. You just take the best player available.
Take the best player, yeah, especially in 1 and 17, because the players there are unreal.
We still got enough money to fill the holes that we missed on the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're saving money over.
We still got
I totally. The draft should be used to build depth. And real quick, did you guys see who the guy picking behind us picked in our mock draft?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I thought it was a miss.
Okay. Wasn't. Great
Who
pick.
Did you pick?
Hawkinson.
A tight end at 7?
No, you're not getting a tight end when you draft Hawkinson. You're getting a right tackle that runs like the wind blows. He's
a tight end that can block, and he's very few because there's barely.
No. You're understating it. You're understating blocking.
You're getting Gronk. You're getting Gronk.
You're getting a beast. You're getting a difference maker. You're getting I am high on that kid. I think he's a plug and play extremely well. And you want to have some fun. You want to take around 8 minutes and just have a blast and a good time. Go to YouTube and put in Hawkinson blocking. That's it. It's awesome.
So
imagine that kid. I think that kid is a steal anywhere you get him. Just get your hands on that kid. He's good.
I'm putting out Detroit's the pick from Detroit, and I'll tell you what. That's an interesting one as well.
Break the news. Who is it?
Kyler Murray.
Whoa! Stafford on the block.
That was I was like, oh man, because the guy from Arizona, he doesn't believe it, but Times change.
Hey, and they seem to be changing right before our eyes.
I just want to let you know, is it possible in any way to sue you people? Sue who? Sue you. I'm asking you for help. Sue me? Yes. Why would you sue me? Well, I'm trying to explain. I had a terrible accident. What's that got to do with me? I'm trying to ask you for help and maybe sue you for punitive damages. That's what you get. The people that you work with and handle, I would probably sue them too. Thank you, Mark, for typing all that out.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, everyone. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't. I will see everyone next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, right?
Yeah, Rosen watch continues.
Yeah, and if a trade goes down, I think that we would try to do an impromptu, right? So if by some chance this happens, keep an eye out, and we may be going live that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if we get a quarterback, gentlemen, I'm popping bottles.
All of a sudden, the captain negative turns the captain positive.
No. I'll be able to breathe for the first time in a long time since the draft last year. I'll be able to breathe because this quarterback situation terrifies me. I just want a guy on the roster.
For you, James. One last question for you, real quick. What if I told you last year? We'll get Rosen and Barkley. Just give it a year.
I would say that a GM has gone full retard, and that we've gotten extremely lucky of taking advantage of that poor, unfortunate GM wearing a helmet.
All right, everyone. We will end it on that note, and I will see you all.
We like to go PC. We're very PC here.
Oh yeah, it was totally family friendly today. Totally family friendly. All right, everyone. Peace out.